Welcome Chessbox. This is a game between WFM Sana Omprakash and Wabwire Ronald in the black pieces. Sana opens the game with 1 e4 and we see e5 from Wabwire, knight f3 and now d6, the Philidor defense. Pawn comes to d4, pawn takes and knight takes. Knight is by far the best move. Yes, knight comes to f6, knight comes to c3 defending, bishop comes to e7, bishop comes to c4. So short castling is going to be expected in this position. Short castling from both sides, and now pawn comes to a6 has been played. Pawn f4 is a good move to stop the b5 ideas. Rook comes to e1 are also good moves in the position. Let us see. Sana finds it. She plays pawn comes to f4, and there are simple tactics which can happen in the game. Knight takes pawn, and after knight taking pawn, then the pawn comes to d5, forking the two pieces. Also a good move. Pawn c5 is also a good move. Wabwire finds pawn c5, and now the only square where the knight has to sit is knight comes to e2, because anywhere the knight falls it can be taken. In case knight comes to f5, it can be taken by the bishop, which is here, and knight has only one square way, which is knight comes to e2 is the only square where the knight can sit. Sana plays for Ginger Knights Chess Club in the National Chess League of Uganda. Yes, she finds knight comes to e2, so bishop e6 is a good move, followed by pawn comes to h6 are also good moves. Wabwire finds it. He plays bishop comes to e6. Now in this position we are seeing potential captures which can happen. For example, in case of bishop takes bishop, and now pawn is going to take bishop, and now knight can come to f4 attacking the pawn which is on e6. Queen can still come to e2, bring the queen still on c4, attacking the pawn which is on e6. And I can tell you that's the simple pattern which you can see. These are all aggressive chess players. So long as they get a simple chance opportunity to attack, they attack you until they squeeze water out of the juice. So let us watch. This is a very epic fight. This game is so interesting that you have to take in your breath in order to see the next move from each opponent. So bishop takes bishop on e6 by far is the best move in the position, because even the simple knight coming to d5 can also be seen in the position. And then we shall play moves like pawn coming to f5, knight sitting here on b6 is also a good one. So this is the Innovation Cup round 6, and this is the season 4. So she takes the bishop, then pawn takes. In this position, knight coming to f4 attacking the pawn which is on e6 can be seen, and it's a very strong move. And queen d7 will not be able to work. Queen c8 can try to hop out because you can't support by playing e5. It gives out the square which is d5 to the knight. So let us see what Sana Omprakash WFM finds in the position. Innovation Cup round 6 season 4, and this is the 4th edition, but in July this year we shall be hosting season 5, which is going to be anticipating. It has 2 sections, under 1900 and the junior section, who are playing in this Innovation Cup. So she finds it. She plays knight comes to f4, and now you see queen can come to e2, queen can come to c4, attack the pawn which is on e6. So for example, in this position, in case of queen d7 doesn't work because of e5, and after d takes e5, queen takes d7, knight takes d7, knight takes e6. I can tell you this is still very, very powerful. That black won't survive in this one. Let's go back. So Wabwire has to find queen c8 in order to survive. Queen d7 doesn't work. Queen c8 is the only strong move which Wabwire can try in the position. So he finds it. He plays queen comes to c8, defending the pawn which is on e6. So queen e2 can be seen in the position. Yes, she plays queen comes to e2. Now queen comes to c4, attacking the pawn which is on e6. These are all good moves to play. So in this position, knight c6 is the best move in the position. In case of queen c4, then we shall see knight d4, defending the pawn on e6 at the same time attacking the pawn on c2. Let's go back. After knight c6, in case of bishop e3, then Wabwire can try to play knight coming in, then queen comes to d3, rook d7, f5, knight d7, bishop takes d4, c takes d4. Then we see knight coming to e2 because you can't take the pawn because of the fork. Let's go back. After queen e2, Wabwire stand to play. Let's see if Wabwire Ronald can be able to find knight c6. Oh, king comes to h8. All these are potential moves which can be played in the position. Wabwire is an aggressive attacking chess player. He finds king goes to h8. e5 by far is a very strong move. For example, attacking the knight, which is on f6, and now the queen will be having eyes on the square, which is h5, and then now knight comes to g6. All these are potential moves. Bishop coming to e3, rook coming to d1. All these are moves which can be thought of in the position. She finds it. She plays e5, attacking the knight, and pawn takes, queen takes, attacking the pawn, which is on e6, can be very deadly. For example, if pawn takes, then queen takes pawn, attacking the pawn, which is on e6. In case of knight going back, still the queen can still enter in, though threatening. And knight comes to g6. It doesn't work, but it can threaten. This is rapid. Anything possible can be worked on. In case of knight coming to d5, doesn't work because the knights are all eyes on that square. So it means knight d5 doesn't work. Pawn takes e5 is the only move which you can try to play. Oh my god, he plays knight goes to g8, and now pawn takes pawn, queen takes pawn on e6 can be seen in the position. Let us see if Sana Omprakash can find in this position. Queen h5 looks threatening but doesn't work because of knight comes to h6. WFM Sana Omprakash won't be tempted to play queen h5 because it doesn't work. She needs this win. She needs to take. Yes, she goes and plays queen coming to h5, which doesn't work because of knight comes to h6. In case he tries to play move like rook coming to f5, doesn't work because after knight comes to check, it will be checkmate. He plays a knight coming to h6. Queen comes to h3 is a good move, attacking the pawn which is on e6. Also the simple pawn takes pawn on d6 can also be seen in the position. Those are all potential moves in the position. Let us see if Sana Omprakash WFM can find this move. Okay, she plays pawn takes, and now bishop has to play. Queen h3 was by far the best move. So bishop takes. Okay, she plays knight comes to h3, moving the knight out of harm's way. Now opening up for the bishop to take the knight, which is on h6. So rook comes to f5 is forced. Rook comes to f5. So now queen h4 can be played, or queen comes to e2, or queen comes to d1, attacking the bishop which is on d6. When she gets the queen, she plays queen comes to h4. Now the potential bishop takes knight can be seen in the position. Bishop taking the knight on h6. Also, yes, Wabwire plays knight goes back to f7, and in this position knight coming to e4 can be seen. So knight coming to e4, so knight comes to e4, attacking the bishop, and in this position the only move which has to work is bishop coming to c7. Knight looks to be defending the bishop. Bishop has to go out of harm's way. For example, after bishop goes to c7, we can play the bishop e3, attacking the weakness here. Knight d7 defending f4, and now we shall see king g8, then we see g4, bishop d8, attacking the queen, queen e1, rook d5, and now the rest can be history. Let's go back. After e4, knight e4, Wabwire plays knight c6, which is a blunder, and Sana Omprakash has to find the best move in the position. Knight g5 is winning by far. For example, in case of knight takes, and now knight will take the bishop, forking the rook and the queen. Let's go back. After knight g5, in case of rook takes e5, we shall see bishop takes, and after bishop f8, we shall see rook coming to d1, and I can tell you white will be winning this game. Let's go back. Knight c6, Sana Omprakash misses it, and she plays knight takes the bishop on d6, knight takes back, and now Wabwire survives being slaughtered by WFM Sana Omprakash. In this position, bishop e3 can be thought of, completing development and connecting the rooks. Let's see if Sana Omprakash can be able to find bishop comes to e3. She missed her golden opportunity to slaughter Wabwire. So bishop comes to e3, trying to connect the rooks, and now queen has to come out and then release the last piece in the game. Yes, he finds queen comes to e8. Now he wants to release the rook. Either rook comes to d8. So Sana plays rook d1, which is a very powerful one. Rook comes to d1. Now it's attacking the knight, which is on d6. It has to respond. Either knight goes back to f7, or for example, rook can still come here on d8. And Sana Omprakash Wabwire plays knight comes to f7. Sana Omprakash wants to pile up in this position, so she plays rook comes to d1, and now she wants to pile up. Rook comes to d1, and now she can use full control of the column, which you can see on your screen. So knights have to be moved. For example, knights have to be moved. Knight e5 can be a powerful one. Rook coming in to d8 can be a powerful one. Knight comes to e4. Now she's planning a very ferocious attack. Queen is going to come to g6. Knight is going to be coming to f3. So Sana Omprakash has to be very certain on how Wabwire Ronald is closing in. He has a plan of trapping the queen. You see all these squares are covered by the knights. So the only square where the queen can come is queen coming to e4. So Wabwire Ronald is trying to create attacking squares and attacking options in the game. So Sana Omprakash piles the rooks, and now Wabwire to play queen g6 is a good move, trying to create some threats here which can be very powerful. Let's see if Sana Omprakash Wabwire finds it. He plays queen g6. Now knight coming to f3 is a real threat. King has to go to h1 to avoid all those attacks, and Sana Omprakash may be tempted to play something different, but let us see. Wabwire Ronald has everything ready. He has prepared the guns to see that WFM collapses in this game. Even the simple knight coming in, rook coming into h5 can also be seen. Oh my god, Sana blunders the game and she plays rook check. Knight takes, and now rook takes, then rook goes down on f8. Now remember, the rook down is hanging. She's forced to exchange any of the rooks down, and remember, knight is still here eyeing the queen check and winning the queen. So two threats at the same time, is it too much? That Sana has to think of how to. Oh my god, she stretches the hand. She's not seeing knight f3. She's losing her queen. Oh my god, she touches the rook. Oh no, she plays knight comes into f3. Sana Omprakash sees the move and she resigns immediately. Thank you. She thanks Wabwire for playing a very wonderful game. These are all youngsters. Thank you so much for watching, and I wish you the best of luck in your game.